Hi there everyone, it's Danny. So today we will discuss about using aquarium water with our orchids, and this is because recently one of my viewers has asked me what I think about this, and along the way I know many of you have asked me something similar, and I know some of you use aquarium water. So I thought I should discuss a little bit about this subject since I have quite a bit of experience with aquarium plants. Before orchids, there were aquarium plants for me, so I know a thing or two. So I will develop the subject more and tell you what sort of aquarium water is good for orchids and what sort of aquarium water is not. Alrighty, let us start by eliminating those type of aquariums which will not work with our orchids. Okay, so first off, we never want to use water coming from a saltwater aquarium for obvious reasons. A saltwater aquarium is salted and orchids do not like salt water. So if you have a saltwater aquarium, you can forget about it. It will not work with orchids. Moving on to freshwater aquariums. They are actually what we're looking for with orchids, but not all freshwater aquariums are good. So let's take for example the African cichlid aquarium, which, as you might know if you have one, needs to have hard water. This is why we use those calcareous rocks in that aquarium. Those types of fish really do like hard water. Unfortunately, our orchids do not like hard water, so if you have that sort of fish tank, you're probably not safe to use it with orchids. It's the very same reason why in that type of aquarium we will not find an abundance of plants. There are just only a few aquatic plants that can withstand that high alkalinity and a general hardness. And lastly, it's not a good idea to use the water coming from a freshly set up aquarium. And this is because all the processes that keep your balance in your tank did not take place yet. It's just too new. So whether you're using the water from your tap or well, it's practically the same thing because it will be exactly the same as the water in your fish tank at this point. It can actually be worse because you might know that parameters in your water will be off the charts in the first weeks or months of the aquarium life. So I'm referring here to nitrates, which can be quite toxic even to orchids. So water coming from a freshly set up tank is really not suited for orchids. Okay, now let's talk about the water that is suited for orchids. If you have a fish tank that is pretty old, let's say older than 6 months or 9 months, you're pretty safe to use it, as well as if your water is freshwater and your fish are not African cichlids. So let's say a community tank which has all sorts of species in it and some plants, I think will do okay, and I'll tell you the logic behind it. So let's say you're using faucet water and it's pretty hard. All the creatures in your aquarium will use minerals to survive. So the fish in your tank will use minerals for their bone structure, the plants will use the calcium and magnesium, as well as snails will use the calcium to develop their shells. So practically the mineral content in your aquarium will be reduced because all these creatures consume it. Also, fish debris and all that process of decomposition can make the water more acidic. Through the decomposition process, CO2 or carbon dioxide is eliminated. And if you know a thing or two about water chemistry, you know that this tends to acidify your water. So let's presume you use a water with a pH of 7.6. In your established aquarium tank, the pH can actually go as low as 6.5. Just because the aquarium is well established, it has a layer of debris that is decomposing, so it makes the water more acidic. And of course, when you change your water in your aquarium, you don't change all of it, you just make partial changes. So the fresh water you introduce in your tank will not destabilize it in any way. So the older the aquarium is, the more acidic the water will be inside it, which can be a good thing if in your faucet you have an alkaline water. Also, because chemical processes happen in your well-established tank, you will not have issues with excess ammonia and nitrates, in theory at least. If it's well-established, has plants, and everything works together, you will not have a weird parameter balance in your aquarium. Also, if you have a heavily planted tank, this can be even better. If you're the type of aquarist which prefers to have more plants rather than fish, you know that you need to inject CO2 into your aquarium. This means that the pH will be lower than in an average aquarium. Also, plants maintain the balance in an aquarium, so again you will not have trouble with excess ammonia and nitrates and neither nitrates, which will be absorbed by the aquatic plants. Also, if you have an Amazon biotop, that's even better for orchids in my opinion, because an Amazon biotop requires your water to be soft and also slightly acidic. So I think that will do just great for your orchids. So in the end, what you're looking for is water coming from a well-established aquarium, because only then you will have actually less minerals in your water than in your tap water. Okay everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a thing or two. If you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe. You can leave me questions or suggestions in a comment below, but make sure in your G+ settings that people outside your circles can reply to you. So thank you for joining. I will see you next time. Bye!